Hello, and welcome to the channel. I'm so glad you're here with us today. Whether you've been following along for a while or this is your first time here, I truly appreciate you taking the time to watch. Today, we're diving into a topic that can bring profound transformation to your life, the power of forgiveness. Let me ask you a question. Have you ever felt that in life, forgiveness not only helps set you free, but is also an essential part of your spiritual journey? How can forgiveness change the way you perceive life and connect with the world around you? Forgiveness is often seen as a way to release anger or resentment, but it's so much more than that. It's a spiritual practice that can transform your heart, your relationships, and your connection to the world. Whether we realize it or not, forgiveness plays a vital role in our personal growth and peace of mind, and it holds a deep place in many spiritual traditions around the world. In today's video, we're going to explore why forgiveness is not just a kind gesture or an act of letting go, it's a crucial part of your spiritual journey. Forgiveness helps us release negative emotions, heal past wounds, and ultimately align ourselves with inner peace and harmony. It's a tool that frees us from the burden of carrying grudges and anger, allowing us to live with more clarity, joy, and understanding. But forgiveness is not always easy. We often feel that it's hard to forgive because it seems like we're excusing someone's wrongdoings or letting them off the hook. But the truth is, forgiving others doesn't condone their actions. It frees us from the weight of holding on to hurt and resentment. It allows us to move forward with peace in our hearts. So here's the question we'll be answering today. Why is forgiveness so important on your spiritual path, and how can it help you find true peace in your heart? We'll talk about how forgiveness isn't just for the other person, it's a gift you give to yourself. When you let go of the anger, hurt, or resentment, you create space for healing and growth. And it's this process of healing that can transform your life in ways you may never have expected. Before we dive deeper, I'd love for you to join our community. If you haven't already, please hit that subscribe button and turn on the notification bell so you never miss an inspiring video like this one. We're all on this journey of growth together, and I can't wait to share more insights with you as we explore topics that can truly make a difference in your life. Thank you for being here, and let's get started. Forgiveness is often misunderstood as a simple moral or ethical act, something we do because it's the right thing to do. While that is part of it, forgiveness goes far deeper. It is not merely an act of kindness or a way to make peace with someone else. Forgiveness is a source of spiritual strength that has the unique ability to free our souls. It allows us to break free from the emotional chains that hold us captive and gives us the opportunity to live more fully with lightness and grace. At its core, forgiveness is liberation. It's a release not only for the person who may have wronged us, but for ourselves as well. When we forgive, we break the power that anger, resentment, and hatred have over us. We no longer allow the pain of the past to define our present or shape our future. Instead of carrying those burdens, we release them, which is a deeply spiritual act. Forgiving others and forgiving ourselves is one of the most profound ways to reclaim control over our emotional and spiritual well-being. Many of us carry around anger and resentment without even realizing how much they drain our energy. These emotions can weigh on our hearts, leaving us feeling burdened and stuck. But when we choose to forgive, we make a conscious decision to let go of these negative feelings. We choose to set down the emotional baggage we've been carrying for far too long. Forgiveness is not easy. It is often one of the hardest things we can do in our lives, especially when the pain is deep or the betrayal is significant. But even in those situations, forgiveness offers us a chance to heal and grow spiritually. It is through forgiveness that we are able to move forward, not by forgetting the wrongs, but by letting go of the emotional toll they take on us. Forgiveness allows us to reclaim our peace and clarity. Forgiveness is one of the most powerful tools for healing the soul. We've all experienced pain in different forms, hurt from others, betrayal, loss, and disappointment. These wounds are part of life, but when we hold on to the emotions tied to those wounds, we carry them with us for far too long. The weight of unforgiveness is heavy. and it takes up space in our hearts and minds. It keeps us emotionally and spiritually trapped in the past. The truth is, when we don't forgive, pain and resentment control our hearts. These unresolved emotions can make it difficult for us to live fully in the present moment. They cloud our perception, shape our behavior, and hinder our relationships. The longer we hold on to these feelings, the more they become embedded in our identity, and the harder it is to move forward. But when we choose to forgive, we are actively releasing those chains that have held us down, and in doing so, we allow ourselves to heal. Healing through forgiveness isn't just about the other person, it's about you. It's about creating the space in your heart to experience peace and joy again. It's about reconnecting with yourself, your values, and your deeper purpose. When we forgive, we not only let go of the past, but also open ourselves to the future. Forgiveness enables us to see life through a clearer lens, free of the emotional baggage that clouds our judgment and spirit. By forgiving others, we remove the emotional weight they placed upon us. And by forgiving ourselves, we release the guilt, shame, or self-blame we may carry for past mistakes or perceived wrongdoings. Forgiveness allows us to recognize that we are all imperfect and that growth comes from the lessons we learn, not from carrying the weight of our mistakes forever. This self-compassion and openness to growth are key components of spiritual healing. Forgiveness also brings with it emotional freedom. It is a process of letting go not for the other person's benefit, but for your own. When we hold on to unforgiveness, it's like drinking poison and hoping the other person will die from it. The only one who suffers is us. Forgiveness is the antidote that frees us from the pain of the past and allows us to live with more peace and purpose. Let's look at a real-life example of forgiveness and how it can transform someone's life. Consider the story of Nelson Mandela, one of the most influential leaders in the world, whose personal journey with forgiveness offers powerful lessons on the strength it takes to truly heal. Mandela spent 27 years in prison, much of it in harsh, isolated conditions. During his time in prison, Mandela endured both physical and emotional abuse, but it was his ability to forgive that would ultimately shape the future of South Africa. When Mandela was finally released from prison, he had a choice. He could have held on to his anger, resentment, and the pain he suffered at the hands of the apartheid regime. He could have chosen revenge and bitterness, and no one would have blamed him. Instead, Mandela chose forgiveness. He realized that holding on to hatred would only keep him trapped in the past, preventing him from creating a future of peace and unity for his people. In his famous address to the nation after his release, Mandela spoke about the importance of forgiveness and the need to reconcile with those who had wronged him. By choosing to forgive, he was able to help heal a nation torn apart by decades of racial injustice. His personal decision to forgive wasn't about excusing the actions of the apartheid regime, it was about choosing to free himself from the emotional burden of resentment. He understood that forgiveness is not for the other person, it's for yourself. It's a gift you give to your soul to allow it to heal and grow. Mandela's ability to forgive his captors despite the immense pain they caused him was a profound demonstration of spiritual strength. His forgiveness allowed him to rise above hatred, and ultimately it helped him lead South Africa into a new era of democracy and peace. Without his willingness to forgive, the future of his country would have been far different. This story exemplifies the transformative power of forgiveness. Mandela's decision to forgive was not only a personal act of healing, but a political and social act that changed the course of history. By choosing to forgive, he liberated himself from the prison of anger and resentment, and in doing so, he helped others find their own freedom. In conclusion, forgiveness is a source of spiritual strength that allows us to heal and grow. It frees us from the chains of anger, resentment, and pain that weigh down our hearts. When we forgive, we don't just release others from the consequences of their actions, we release ourselves from the emotional burden that keeps us stuck in the past. Forgiveness is an act of self-care and self-love as it allows us to reclaim our inner peace and create space for growth and transformation. Just as Nelson Mandela showed the world, forgiveness is not a sign of weakness, but a profound display of strength and spiritual wisdom. It's a choice we make to heal ourselves, and in doing so, we open the door to a brighter, more peaceful future. In life, we all experience negative emotions. These emotions are natural responses to difficult or painful situations, but when they are left unresolved, they can begin to take a much larger toll on our mental and emotional well-being. Anger, hatred, resentment, and bitterness are some of the most toxic emotions that can dominate our thoughts and actions when we hold on to them for too long. These emotions create an emotional weight that becomes harder and harder to carry over time. When we choose not to forgive, we allow these emotions to consume us, affecting our mental health and overall happiness. It's easy to think that holding on to anger or resentment is a way of protecting ourselves, as if by continuing to feel hurt we are somehow safeguarding ourselves from further pain. In reality, we are only hurting ourselves. When we don't forgive, we keep ourselves trapped in the past, constantly reliving the pain, the disappointment, or the betrayal. Our minds become preoccupied with the negative emotions tied to those experiences, and our emotional energy is drained by them. Forgiveness, however, is not about excusing someone's actions or agreeing with what they did. It is not about saying that what happened was okay or that we should forget about it entirely. Forgiveness is about releasing ourselves from the grip of these negative emotions. It is the decision to let go of the anger, the resentment, and the bitterness that we are holding on to. Forgiving does not mean that the other person is absolved of their actions. It simply means that we choose not to let their actions continue to affect our emotional health. When we hold on to negative emotions, they control us. They dictate how we feel, how we react, and even how we view the world. We might find ourselves more cynical, anxious, or even physically drained because of the emotional weight we carry. By choosing to forgive, we take back control. We no longer allow the past to dictate our present. Forgiveness is an act of freedom, allowing us to free ourselves from the chains of anger and resentment that prevent us from living fully. The act of forgiveness brings with it a deep sense of inner peace. Think about how you feel when you hold on to unresolved conflict. There's a certain tension that lingers in your heart, a tightness in your chest, or a heaviness in your mind. Even when you try to distract yourself, that unresolved anger or hurt can still surface, disrupting your peace. But when you choose to forgive, you're not just letting go of the anger, you're choosing to create peace within yourself. Forgiveness allows us to reconcile with ourselves and with others. It gives us the chance to release the pain and move forward, making room for peace, compassion, and understanding. It's important to understand that forgiveness does not mean forgetting, nor does it require that we stay in a harmful or toxic relationship. Instead, forgiveness is about releasing the emotional charge associated with the past, making peace with it and not allowing it to affect us any longer. When we forgive, we let go of the emotional baggage that weighs us down. The truth is, when we are carrying anger and resentment, we are giving those feelings power over us. But when we forgive, we make a conscious choice to stop holding on to those feelings and allow ourselves to heal. In doing so, we regain our inner peace and open the door to emotional freedom. Forgiveness also helps us reconcile with others. It's not about condoning harmful behavior, but about recognizing that everyone makes mistakes. We are all imperfect, and forgiveness is an act of understanding and compassion. It allows us to see the bigger picture and recognize that holding on to anger towards someone is often more about our own unresolved pain than about the actions of others. Forgiveness is an invitation to release that pain and find healing in our hearts. Let me share a real-life example of the transformative power of forgiveness. This is the story of Maya Angelou, the renowned poet, author, and civil rights activist. Maya Angelou had a traumatic childhood. When she was just 7 years old, she was sexually abused and raped by her mother's boyfriend. After the incident, Maya's uncle took revenge by killing the man who had harmed her. Angelou, feeling guilty about the man's death, went mute for nearly 5 years, unable to speak because she felt responsible for the violence that followed her abuse. As she grew older, Maya learned to speak again and began to rebuild her life. However, for many years she struggled with the deep emotional pain of her past. It wasn't until much later that she realized that holding on to anger and pain was preventing her from fully healing. She chose to forgive the man who had abused her, not because she believed his actions were justified, but because she knew that holding on to anger and resentment was preventing her from living her life to the fullest. Maya Angelou once said, "Forgiveness is the greatest gift you can give yourself." By choosing to forgive, Angelou freed herself from the emotional burden that had plagued her for so many years. Her decision to forgive was an act of personal healing, allowing her to move forward with her life and to become the powerful, compassionate voice for justice that the world came to know. Her forgiveness didn't excuse the man's actions, but it allowed her to release the pain and the anger, and it opened the door for inner peace and emotional freedom. Angelou's story demonstrates the power of forgiveness to heal deep emotional wounds. She could have chosen to hold on to anger and resentment for the rest of her life, but by forgiving, she freed herself from the prison of negativity and pain. Forgiveness was a crucial step in her spiritual journey, and it allowed her to grow into the extraordinary woman who inspired millions with her words and actions. In conclusion, forgiveness frees us from negative emotions like anger, hatred, and resentment. It is the key to releasing the emotional weight we carry and finding inner peace. When we choose to forgive, we are choosing to free ourselves from the grip of painful emotions, allowing us to move forward with a clearer mind and a lighter heart. Forgiveness is not about forgetting the wrongs or excusing hurtful actions, but about choosing not to let those actions control our lives. It is a gift we give ourselves, one that brings healing and peace, making room for growth, compassion, and spiritual freedom. Like Maya Angelou, we can all find strength in forgiveness, releasing the negative emotions that hold us back and embracing the peace that comes with letting go. Forgiving is an act of freedom, freedom to move on, freedom to heal, and freedom to live our lives to the fullest. Forgiveness plays a pivotal role in strengthening our relationships. Whether in romantic partnerships, friendships, or family bonds, forgiveness is essential for maintaining healthy connections. Relationships, by their very nature, are imperfect. People make mistakes, misunderstandings occur, and sometimes hurtful words or actions create emotional wounds. Yet forgiveness allows us to heal the rifts that naturally occur in relationships, and it provides an opportunity to renew the trust that is foundational to any meaningful connection. When we forgive, we don't just heal ourselves, we heal the relationship itself. Forgiveness creates an opening for reconciliation where both parties have the opportunity to move beyond the conflict, restore understanding, and come together again in a more compassionate, unified way. Without forgiveness, relationships are often burdened by resentment, anger, or emotional walls that make it difficult to rebuild trust or communicate openly. By choosing to forgive, we break down those walls and allow the space for growth, understanding, and renewed intimacy. Consider a friendship that has been strained by a misunderstanding or a disagreement. If both individuals hold on to their grudges and refuse to forgive, the gap between them only widens and the relationship is left to wither. But when forgiveness is practiced, it offers both people a chance to see things from each other's perspective, to express vulnerability, and to find common ground again. Through this process, trust is rebuilt and the relationship is not only healed, but also made stronger. Forgiveness is like a cleansing agent that removes the toxins from the bond, leaving it healthier and more resilient than before. Forgiveness, when applied in relationships, allows growth. People change, evolve, and learn from their mistakes, but those changes are often only possible when forgiveness is part of the equation. Holding on to past mistakes or continuously rehashing old arguments prevents any real progress from being made. However, when we forgive, we free the other person to grow, just as we allow ourselves the space to grow. It shifts the relationship from one of stagnation or hurt to one of mutual respect, trust, and love. On a deeper level, forgiveness is also an integral part of our spiritual journey. In every major spiritual tradition, forgiveness is seen as not just an act of kindness or reconciliation, but as a spiritual practice that aligns us with divine love and compassion. Forgiving others allows us to align with the love and compassion of the divine, opening our hearts and inviting divine guidance and healing. In Christianity, for instance, Jesus teaches the importance of forgiveness in his Sermon on the Mount, where he states, "Blessed are the merciful, for they shall receive mercy." Matthew 5:7, the act of forgiving is not merely for the benefit of the other person, but it is a reflection of God's unconditional love for us. When we forgive, we open ourselves to experience and embody that same love. We connect with the divine nature of forgiveness and compassion which transcends human limitations. Forgiveness is an act of spiritual liberation. When we forgive, we are not just releasing the person who wronged us, we are freeing our own soul from the shackles of anger, hatred, and judgment. These negative emotions create spiritual blockages that hinder our connection to the divine. But when we choose to forgive, we are aligning ourselves with divine energies of love, peace, and understanding. This alignment strengthens our connection with the Creator and enhances our spiritual growth. In many traditions, forgiveness is also about letting go of our desire for retribution or justice on our own terms. Forgiveness requires us to trust in divine justice, knowing that the Creator is always at work bringing healing balance and fairness in ways that transcend our understanding. Forgiving is therefore an act of faith. Faith that the divine will handle things in ways that we may not be able to comprehend. And faith that by forgiving, we are contributing to the healing of the world. Forgiveness is not only an act toward others, it is also a spiritual practice that helps us reconnect with the divine. In many spiritual teachings, forgiveness is seen as a reflection of divine love, one that transcends the limitations of human ego and judgment. Forgiveness teaches us to move beyond anger, hurt, and resentment, which often come from a place of ego and personal offense, and to embrace a higher perspective rooted in compassion, understanding, and love. When we forgive, we embody the unconditional love that is at the heart of many spiritual teachings. This type of love is not contingent on whether the other person deserves forgiveness. It is given freely because it reflects the essence of the divine. Forgiving is therefore not just about releasing negative emotions toward others, but about opening ourselves to the divine flow of love that connects all beings. In Buddhism, for example, forgiveness is central to the practice of compassion. It is believed that holding on to anger and refusing to forgive creates attachment and suffering. Letting go of grudges and forgiving frees the individual from the suffering that is caused by attachment to past wrongs, allowing them to experience inner peace and spiritual enlightenment. Similarly, in Hinduism, forgiveness is viewed as a divine virtue and is said to purify the soul, allowing one to connect more deeply with the divine and move closer to the realization of self-realization and oneness. Forgiveness helps us to move beyond the ego's need for control and judgment and into a more divine state of love and compassion. It is through forgiveness that we align ourselves with a higher spiritual truth, one that recognizes the impermanence of human suffering and the possibility of transformation. By practicing forgiveness, we cultivate a more profound spiritual connection both with others and with the divine. To better understand the spiritual power of forgiveness, let's look at the story of Desmond Tutu, the Archbishop of Cape Town and a prominent leader in the fight against apartheid in South Africa. Desmond Tutu's life is a testament to the power of forgiveness in fostering healing and spiritual connection. Tutu was deeply involved in the Truth and Reconciliation Commission, which was established after the fall of apartheid in South Africa. The purpose of the commission was to allow victims of human rights violations to come forward and share their experiences, while also offering perpetrators an opportunity to confess their crimes and seek forgiveness. Tutu played a crucial role in this process, and his understanding of forgiveness became a beacon of hope for a nation torn apart by racial injustice. One of the most powerful examples of Tutu's commitment to forgiveness came when he encouraged both victims and perpetrators to forgive one another, recognizing that true peace and reconciliation could only happen through forgiveness. In his work, Tutu repeatedly emphasized that forgiveness was not a sign of weakness, but of spiritual strength. By forgiving, both sides could begin to heal from the trauma of the past and build a new future based on compassion and understanding. In his book No Future Without Forgiveness, Desmond Tutu writes, "Forgiveness is not an occasional act, it is a permanent attitude." His life exemplifies this attitude of forgiveness, showing how it can transform both individuals and entire communities. By embracing forgiveness, Desmond Tutu was able to help heal the wounds of a divided nation, and his teachings continue to inspire millions worldwide to practice forgiveness as part of their spiritual journey. Tutu's commitment to forgiveness not only helped him in his work as a leader, but also deepened his own spiritual connection. By embodying forgiveness, he aligned himself with divine compassion, using his role to spread peace, healing, and unity. His story serves as a reminder that forgiveness is not just a personal act, but a spiritual practice that can heal not just individual hearts, but the very fabric of society. In conclusion, forgiveness strengthens relationships and creates deeper connections with both others and the divine. It is a spiritual practice that fosters healing, reconciliation, and peace, allowing us to move beyond our ego's need for judgment and into a space of love and compassion. Through forgiveness, we align ourselves with the divine energy of the universe, opening our hearts to greater spiritual growth and unity with all beings. Just as Desmond Tutu used forgiveness to heal a divided nation, we can use forgiveness in our own lives to reconcile with others, heal our hearts, and connect with the divine. Forgiveness is not just about letting go of past hurts, it's about aligning with the unconditional love that transcends human limitations and embracing the spiritual connection that binds us all. As we wrap up today's discussion, let's recap the key points we've explored. Forgiveness is not just a moral act or something we do because we're told to. It is a spiritual force with the power to free us from negative emotions, heal our hearts, and help us reconnect with others and with the divine. It is through forgiveness that we are able to release the weight of anger, resentment, and bitterness, which allows us to experience more peace, compassion, and love in our lives. When we forgive, we open ourselves to spiritual growth. Forgiveness helps us grow on our spiritual journey, making space for inner peace and clarity. It allows us to cultivate meaningful relationships, not just with others, but also with ourselves and the divine. By choosing to forgive, we embrace the opportunity to move forward with an open heart, unburdened by the emotional weight of past wrongs. Through forgiveness, we create a pathway to healing, both for ourselves and for the world around us. It is a powerful tool that transforms our lives, helping us let go of negativity and step into a future filled with hope, peace, and spiritual alignment. I want to leave you with these final words of encouragement. Embrace forgiveness, even when it's difficult to face. I know it's not always easy, especially when the wounds feel deep and the hurt is fresh, but remember, forgiveness is not for the other person, it's for you. Forgiveness frees you from the emotional chains that hold you back and allows you to live with greater peace and joy. When you forgive, you not only heal your heart, but you also protect your spirit from the damage of bitterness and resentment. Forgiveness allows you to grow to see the world with clearer eyes and to create new opportunities in your life that align with love, compassion, and understanding. So don't shy away from forgiveness. It is the key to a brighter, more peaceful future, a future where you are free to live with compassion, strength, and inner peace. Before we finish, I'd love to hear your stories. How have you forgiven someone in your life, and how did it make you feel afterward? What changes did you notice in yourself once you chose to forgive? Sharing your story may inspire others who are on their own journey of forgiveness. And if you enjoyed this video, please hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn on the notification bell so you never miss out on more videos that can help you grow spiritually and live a more fulfilled life. Share your story about forgiveness and how it helped you grow spiritually. And remember to like and subscribe so you can continue following along on this journey of growth and transformation.